Alright guys, so the virus is starting to ease up a little bit enough for DC to be able to release some titles, and so today we're going to be diving into The Flash, issue number 753, released today. If you haven't, be sure to like and sub the page, and without further ado, let's dive in. So opening up with this issue, we see the many deaths of Eobard, and we see him being killed by Dr. Manhattan. We see Thomas Wayne killing him. We see Iris shooting him from behind and essentially disintegrating his body. And what Reverse Flash goes on to tell us is that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many times you kill him, he's always reborn. He doesn't even necessarily know how he's reborn. He just knows that he is reborn every time he dies. Even though he experiences every death all at the same time, somehow he's always brought back. And then we cut over to Barry on the cosmic treadmill. And if you remember, Barry was jumping on the treadmill so he could find the Reverse Flash, because he needs to find the Reverse Flash to be able to take down Paradox, because apparently Paradox was only taken down by the Reverse Flash in the 25th century. And so Barry considers going back to the night his mother died, because he knows Eobard is always there. Reverse Flash is always at that moment, so he can always go back there and find him. But he does know that Iris killed him in the 25th century, so before he takes the big risk going back and possibly creating another Flashpoint Paradox, he goes to the 25th century. And arriving here at the 25th century, everything's been taken apart, everything's destroyed, it looks absolutely horrible. And this isn't the future that Barry remembers. So as he goes through the Flash Museum, trying to find something of records that are still intact, and in the process of doing this, Barry's attacked. And he's attacked by no other than Black Hole. Black Hole was the essentially army for the Time Institute. And so they catch Barry off guard and they're able to catch him. And he goes on to tell them, like, I'm not Eobard Thawne, I'm from the 21st century. And they say, we know who you are. You're still under arrest, Barry Allen. And so Barry asks the agents what happened, here, and they say Paradox happened. He escaped from Iron Heights, slaughtered the Reverse Flash task force, and then turned his attention to Central City. And so the Time Institute reinstated Black Hole to hunt down speedsters and bring them to justice. Only the Reverse Flash can defeat Paradox. And so Barry says, so it's true. And then in this moment, there's a temporal shift. And this is caused because of Paradox and Barry Allen. The timeline essentially doesn't want Barry Allen in the 25th century. The timeline's rejecting him. And so before it gets too out of hand, Barry's able to jump onto the cosmic treadmill, because he knows that Paradox is corrupting the 21st century, and that's why it's causing issues here. And so he needs to find Eobard Thawne quickly. And then we're brought to the present day in Central City, and we see Iris and Wallace West, Kid Flash, talking about how Wally just needs to stay away. Like, he doesn't need to be here. He's just going to end up causing more problems if he starts racing over here. And then we see Paradox and Godspeed. And Godspeed is being forced on the cosmic treadmill in present day by Paradox, who seemingly has merged himself with the Speed Force. And so he forces Godspeed to run. And doing this, we arrive in Central City a few weeks prior in the reign of the Rogues. And Barry Allen and Captain Cold are going against each other. And as Paradox and Godspeed watch this unfold, Barry looks over and sees Godspeed and trying to figure out what happened. Captain Cold immediately charges Paradox, saying that Central City is his. And with the wave of a hand, Paradox makes Captain Cold literally just disappear. And in the same instance, he turns on Barry Allen and does the same thing. And this is when Paradox is essentially empowered with temporal energy, because he created a paradox. The Flash, the Barry Allen, Captain Cold, they weren't supposed to die here. This isn't how the timeline worked out. So now Paradox is absorbing all the energy from this event happening. And it seems to be that Paradox is just going back in time. Every instance that he can find Barry Allen in, he's going to try to kill him. So then we cut over to Barry Allen back on the cosmic treadmill. And he's hopped onto the timeline, and he's headed back to the day that his mother was killed. The last time they visited this was when they created the Flashpoint reality. So, of course, he's skeptical about trying to do anything or alter anything of these events. So Barry patiently waits outside his house, remembering his mother, remembering trying to take down Reverse Flash, all the events that took place leading up to Flashpoint Paradox. But he can't do anything but wait. And he sits there and he listens and he watches. He hears the scream, and of course this automatically just angers Barry. He can't do anything but sit and wait as his mother dies. And as soon as Reverse Flash comes out of the house, Barry's on him. And the Reverse Flash taunts him and tells him, like, you know you're late, right? Like, your mother's already dead. And Barry goes on to tell him, like, I'm not here to stop you or save her. He lets him know, like, I'm here because of Paradox. And you're gonna tell me everything you know about him, including how to stop him. And this stops Reverse Flash almost in his tracks, and he says, wait, Paradox escaped? And then we have another temporal shift, and Reverse Flash makes a joke at Barry's expense. It's just like, oh, you've been traveling like a rookie again through time. And so they continue to race, and Barry tells him, as soon as you tell me everything, I'm going to lock you up again forever. And so Reverse Flash tells him, well, you're going to have to kill me then. Or you can listen to what I have to offer. And Reverse Flash tells him, like, this is the most dangerous enemy you will ever face. If you want to stop him and survive, there's only one option. And Barry, trying to deny the inevitable, what he knows has to happen. And the Reverse Flash says, we team up, side by side, to save the universe as it always should have been. And that is where this issue will end. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I am absolutely loving it. You know, Eobard Thawne is finally getting what he wants. His idol, his teammate, the guy he strived to be for so long, he's finally able to team up with the Flash. And that's huge for him. So yeah, be sure to like and sub if you haven't, and until the next video.